to another episode of Breakfast at Layers. Happy for you to join us. My next guest is Stuart Brignell. He's an international performing recording artist from Toronto, Canada, and he heavily operates in London, UK, and abroad. He has had the privilege to record and perform with artists such as The Honest Guy, MC Creed, DJ Pied Piper, Eddie Brignell, Sam Williams, and Adrian Bentz, just to name a few. All right, please welcome Stuart. Woo!
Hey guys, happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. I'm stoked to have you.
Yeah, I'm excited. I love the decor and the muffins and everything. I'm gonna enjoy one in a bit.
Yay!
Yeah.
Have you just heard me say stoked?
Yeah, stoked.
I'm getting down with the lingo.
We say that over in Toronto as well. I think we have a lot of the same slang that you guys do in the UK. So.
Yeah, why is that? Is that because of is it black culture? Is it like
Yeah,
Caribbean?
I think it's a lot of the Caribbean Jamaicans. Toronto has a lot of Jamaican people as well, so you hear similar slang over there. A lot of it's almost all the same.
Oh,
actually.
yeah,
So it's that connection, I believe.
And also like Americans, obviously, like New York have a lot of our lingo as well.
Yeah, a lot of that.
Really cool.
It's all like Jamaican, like patois slang and stuff that came over. Yeah.
True.
That's cool.
So tell me, what's your go-to breakfast?
These days, it's like kind of Mediterranean vibes, like a couple fried eggs with like some sauteed mushrooms and then slices of halloumi, maybe a little side salad. I've been really enjoying that lately, but it changes. Depends on the season, what my breakfast will be.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Do you have that at home as well?
Yeah. No, I make it at home because, just get the little bits, get some halloumi going. And yeah, it's a nice, like, very filling breakfast to start the day. So I've been enjoying that.
How do you feel about English breakfast?
I do. I can't have it all the time because it's heavy, but I do occasionally love an English breakfast when I'm like really hungry or like maybe a bit hungover, and then
it actually kind of like hits the spot when you're hungover, right?
It does. Or if you're working out because there's a lot of protein and stuff. So I do like it's usually one of my go-tos when I'm at a diner or something. Just a classic English breakfast.
Here we go with your Canadian diner.
Yeah, diner.
I love that.
What do you guys call it?
We just say like cafe, or coffee place.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So you guys just call it diners?
Yeah, like if it's that sort of like just kind of breakfast and like burgers and fries and stuff like that, we'll call it a diner.
Nice. We actually have diners as well, but like obviously when we have diners, it's actually written as a diner.
Oh, okay.
We don't really call cafes and whatnot diners.
Yeah, okay.
And it's very like it's very extra. Like they make it look as American and Canadian as possible.
Yeah, more
like
American.
The movies.
Yeah, no, and it's like they're open all night type stuff.
Yeah,
you get milkshakes, all those good things.
But it's really like expensive though. When we go for us here, when we have the stuff, it's like really expensive.
It's because it's meant to be like a premium experience.
Yeah.
But back home, those are usually like cheaper spots. You can get something for like $10.
Nice.
Which is like only about £6 because your guys' money is twice as valuable as ours. So.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So if you go over there, you'll be spending less because things are priced the same, but then the exchange rate's kind of nice to you. But for me, it's the other way around.
Oh, I actually didn't know that. I thought like euros was the only one that's like below us. But...
No. Canadian's quite a bit below. But it is what it is. Hopefully it'll come up soon.
Okay, so I want to talk about your upbringing. Can you tell me how you got into music, how it all started for you, and what kind of music was playing in your house?
Yeah, so my parents would always play just around the house or just to sit and like listen to a lot of jazz records and kind of fusion stuff like that. So I grew up around like Miles Davis and like John Coltrane and like Sarah Vaughan.
Yes.
Stuff like that, like a lot of jazz records. So I was exposed to it, and then when I was, I think, 10, I think it was actually through an iTunes commercial. Wynton Marsalis did one of his tunes was featured on like marketing for like I think iTunes or iPod or something, and he was playing a tune by him called Sparks, which is like a really burn-in like bebop tune. And so I heard that on a commercial and I was like, what the hell? And then that led into like the records that my parents were playing, which was sort of that style, like from that era as well. So then I just got captivated by like bebop music.
From 10?
From 10.
Wow.
That was the first, like Charlie Parker and stuff and Dizzy Gillespie. I was listening to that heavy when I was like 10 years old. So jazz was my introduction to music in general.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of like hooked me, and then I really wanted to learn how to play, and like started learning saxophone and stuff, and one thing led to another, and now I'm here, I guess. So it was sort of, a lot of 10-year-olds aren't listening to like bebop and stuff. They're listening to like all sorts of, but that was my first kind of introduction to music. So
your parents did very well.
Yeah, they just, they encouraged me, they exposed this stuff. They were, fully supportive of me learning, and got me a teacher and stuff. And then in grade 7 in Canada, that's when you're like 11 or 12, you start taking band. So I was already, getting into that. And so that's sort of how it started.
That's really cool. Start them young, I guess.
Yeah.
But like, in contrast to me, even though my dad was playing jazz in the house, because I grew up in the north, I was always like into like indie bands.
A lot of that
it's very Brit pop. So like I got into jazz way later. Way later.
That's cool.
But what would you say is your favorite jazz album, or like top 5?
Wow.
It's hard, isn't it?
That's a really hard. I'm not going to be able to give my top 5 accurately right now. I'd have to like really sit and meditate on it. But I definitely really love Tetragon by Joe Henderson's a big album for me.
Oh, I like Joe Henderson.
Yeah, Joe Henderson's killing. Blue Train, John Coltrane. Yeah, I love Supreme.
Yeah. You love your hard jazz stuff.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so those it's hard for me. Sophisticated Swing compilation by Cannonball Adderley Quintet.
Nice.
Is a really good one as well. Yeah, stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
Kind of hard bop. Yeah.
Have you ever heard of Yusuf Lateef?
Yeah.
Because you play flute, so what kind of flute music do you play? Do you like?
I guess like jazz flute and stuff, and I do like classical as well. Flute's a really beautiful instrument. I'm still like getting my hands around it, but Yusuf Lateef toured a lot with Cannonball Adderley. He was playing flute and tenor saxophone with him. Yeah. So definitely, I heard about him from quite a while ago. He's really killing as well. Yeah.
He's really good. Like I just love how meditative his sound is.
I think he was very spiritual with it.
Yeah,
I recall that about him.
So you must like Alice Coltrane, obviously.
Alice Coltrane for sure.
Nice. I love that whole universe of like spiritual jazz.
Very spiritual.
If I say so myself.
Yeah,
that's cool. So, what's your favorite thing about being an artist?
I guess just sort of being yourself and having your own, like no one can really tell you how to do it. You sort of got to figure it out for yourself, like the whole creative process. And just connecting with people, like playing a gig, and like when your band's like really cooking and like everyone's really enjoying it, and that sort of give and take from the audience is really nice. And just getting people excited, making people happy, and that whole part is really, and just the whole creative process, being in the studio for like 8 hours and like coming up with some really cool, crazy shit is like all about. I really love that whole part of it. Yeah, it's obviously not easy. It's tough. There's a lot of hard parts about it, but
what do you find is the hardest part about like preparation of like recording, or like?
I actually think the hardest part is all the technical stuff around playing the gig. Like once you're actually there playing with people, but it's like getting to the gig, setting up, like all of that, like the sound check, like bringing the locations, the travel. That's kind of the stuff that gets exhausting for me. Once you're actually playing, that's like the fun part. But it's all the other things that can get especially when you're gigging a lot. It can be tough like that. But it's still, I wouldn't trade it for anything. I really love doing it. So.
Do you enjoy tour?
I've only toured like a couple times, but touring, I do love like being in new places, experiencing new cities and whatnot, but it's definitely pretty exhausting and pretty you're so uprooted and you're not very grounded. So I find when I've always come back from tour, I've been like kind of like scattered and really disconnected from myself. So I prefer just to like, you know, be in certain cities and like work. I'd rather just be like come to London for like 3 months and just work out of there, aside from like going to 20 places in 3 months. I prefer, and flying can get exhausting. So I'd rather just be in like a city scene, just like work that for like an amount of time.
Yeah, it's tiring.
It's very tiring, yeah.
But what has been your favorite place to play, except from London, of course?
Really enjoyed playing in Poland.
Oh, why?
Just the audience is really good. The vibes, everyone really loves good music there. Really keen listeners. Poland was cool. I've always loved playing in the States as well. Like playing in New York was always great. People get it. Yeah, probably, and London as well. People are very, very generous with the energy. They really like appreciate music. So,
London, yeah. London crowds are like one of the best.
They're very good. They give you a lot of love back.
Heard, yeah.
From where I'm in Toronto, from where I'm from, the audiences, they don't really know to give that give and take, so they might really enjoy it, but they won't really show that they're enjoying it, because we're very like kind of conservative socially culture a little bit.
Really?
Toronto audiences are notoriously bad, if you ask anyone. Yeah,
I thought Canadians are like happy-go-lucky people.
They can be, but just when it comes to like the process of being an audience member and all that, Toronto's like it's known for being like not the best crowds, and you don't know, you'll play really well but you won't really get much back.
You won't know if you're
people
good.
Don't want to be
like,
all like lit and like clapping and stuff, but in London they're going for it.
Even if you fuck up in London, everyone's like, it's okay.
Very much so.
You're telling me in Canada they'll be like, yeah, we knew you wasn't that great.
In Toronto, I can't speak for the rest of Canada, but in Toronto the audience
they're tough.
They won't, it's not they're tough, they just won't give you much back. They might tell you after, but in the moment they're just kind of like,
they're just maybe they're just like so zoomed in the zone, you know.
I think it's just like our culture can be, like I said, kind of socially conservative, so people don't want to be all like lit. They don't want to be that person like making all this noise and like how other people see them, so they're kind of like holding back.
Okay.
But in London doesn't occur to anyone.
Nobody cares.
Everyone's just taking up space and being themselves.
Yeah, everyone's
being kind of messy, but it's okay. You know what I mean? So,
but like do you think we are much more, we take up much more space than like New York?
It's about the same, but it's different in the way that you all take up space. To me, it's a bit different in New York, but I'd say it's the same level. Yeah.
I'd love to go to New York.
Yeah, it's great.
One
you
day.
should definitely go. Yeah, one day.
Okay, I want to ask you another soft question. If you blew up right now, what would be the most normal thing in your life that you're going to miss? I'm talking like overnight success. Like people like Beyonce, they just can't go out to the shops and knit for a pint of milk. Yeah.
For me, it's probably that you just said. It's probably like the privacy and the kind of like incognito-ness. And also the amount that I'd have to be like always showing up and doing, like, I like to just take days where like my phone is off, you can't even reach me, you don't know where I am, or I leave my phone at home and I go to the forest and I spend the day out there, or something like that. Like that I don't think that's as easy to do once you're super in the spotlight and stuff. Because
then you have a team pulling at you at both ends,
and they're scheduling you stuff every day is like blocked out with like interviews or rehearsals or content creation or like all this stuff, so you don't really have that time. I really need my kind of invisible time to recharge socially, so I don't think I'd get much of that if that occurred.
I hear that. I feel you. So what made you pursue, I don't know, London? What made you come here and play?
So actually, the first time I came to London was in 2016 on tour. It was like the last of a European tour. That's the one we played in Poland in, but that was like the first stretch. It was with this group called Art the Band. We don't play together anymore, but we have lots of records out on Spotify and Bandcamp and stuff, so you guys can go check out. That was my first like big project. It's called Art the Band. We have a couple albums out. That was with all great Canadian musicians. Really incredible. It was a great. So that's how I got to touring in the States and Canada and Europe, was with that band. It's sort of like jazz fusion with a lot of math rock influence. You know, math rock, that type of prog, it's type of progressive rock, very angular, very odd time signature stuff. So it's like jazz fused with like math rock, which is pretty cool.
I don't know. You're gonna have to.
Yeah, I'll put you on. I'll send you some stuff.
Put me on. That's so Canadian.
Yeah, I'll put you on. But yeah. So sorry, what was the initial question again? About London.
About London.
Yeah. So.
What else do you like about the London jazz scene, actually?
Well, yeah. So when I first came here, it was 2016 with Art the band. The end of that tour was in London. We played at Magic Garden, which is in Battersea. Yes. So we played and we actually stayed in the flats above the venue. And that first time, I didn't really think much of London. I was like, this is just like Toronto, but like older. But I didn't really get to see it. So I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm ever going to come back here. So then a few years later, I got hip to this album, Black Focus by Yusuf Days and Kamal Williams, when they were working together. Really good album. That was like a flagship, like London jazz. Yes. Like really, and Tom Dreisler's on bass, who's disgusting. And so that album, I was like, wow, these London cats are really on some, like, it's jazz, but there's all these
experimental. That's very London.
Very hip hop kind of rooted as well. So I was like, damn, these cats are really up to, and then that same year I started listening to like Tom Misch, and I think I found out about like Blue Lab Beats. So I was like exposed to all this London jazz. I'm like, damn, the cats are really doing some cool stuff out there. So then I really wanted to go check it out. So I came in 2019. Literally, I flew back first week of March, and then second week of March was the lockdown. So I was in London, and then, you know, I was here for about 2 weeks then, and I got exposed, and I went to like the Ronnie Scott's jams and met all these musicians, and that was really dope. And I'm like, yeah, there's definitely something in this city. And the way that people liked my playing, like I was very well received here, and I'm like, yeah, there might be something here. It's a bigger scene. There's all the cats out here are flying around to Europe to do festivals and the BBC sessions, and like there's just so much more happening than in Toronto. So I was like, yeah, like in terms of the industry, there's just, you guys have a lot of, the arts industry is really like built up, and it's there's a lot of arts infrastructure. In Canada, it's not kind of what you see is what you get, and there's not tons of that. There could be, but it's just kind of lacking at the moment. So so it was that, and then I just kept coming back, and I kept feeling like I need to keep kind of pursuing whatever is over here, and that's, so it started with those initial trips, and now I keep coming back and stuff.
Lovely. Yeah. So when you talk about it's lacking with like in infrastructures, are you referring to, like, for example, like in the London jazz scene, we have like grants, there's a lot of supports, like you said, BBC. So you're telling me in Canada they don't have like grants going for like...
We do have grants, we do have stuff like that, but it's like it's sort of, it's hard to describe if you haven't like been there and be seeing, but it's like firstly, London is a way, in terms of population and infrastructure, it's a way like bigger city. You know, it's more on the scale of like New York or LA. Toronto's not as a city on that scale. Okay. And then also London's just been a hub for the arts, like a global hub for the arts, like for a very long time. Toronto's like, in Canada it is, but on the world stage it's just not on that level. So the amount of like, there's always these like, you know, fashion conferences happening in London, all these like music conferences, like all these different types, like theater and like visual art. There's just so much fucking happening, and all those communities intermingle and work together. In Toronto, it's like there are all these separate islands, and there's no bridges between the islands, and there are grants, but beyond the grants, it's like, it's really hard to get it's not really possible in Canada, in Toronto, to get a project or any sort of art, you know, project off the ground and get it to a global level. But in London, you can take something from grassroots to global in a very, if you do it right, it doesn't even take that long. You can really, there's the infrastructure to like bring it up, but in Canada, it's like you hit this ceiling that's quite low, and then to penetrate through that ceiling, you need to go to elsewhere. You need to go other places. That's why I come to London. Some people go to the States, some people go to like Berlin, but yeah, that's sort of that's kind of what I'm talking about. Okay. Yeah.
So in terms of the scene, because I really want to like get an idea of what it's like to be a musician in Canada or Toronto. And I want to ask some kind of like spicy questions.
Yeah, for sure.
Would you say that Canada has, well, Canadian scene, music scene, has a crab in a bucket mentality when it comes to like musicians?
The musicians are pretty like supportive. I'd say for the artists, maybe a bit it's like that. But it's just sort of like, someone might be really dope, they might be releasing music and all this stuff, playing a few gigs, but it's like, it's sort of like I said, that ceiling's kind of low, so they'll get to a level and then they won't really be able to, there's not really too much places to go beyond that. So if you want to keep going and actually get to that global scale, you need to leave and kind of get those connections in other places, like in the States or the UK or Europe or whatever. Like I said, excuse me, the community is very healthy and strong, especially in the jazz scene. Like, everyone knows each other, everyone's kind of helping each other out. But like I said, there's just you get to that level and then it's a bit difficult to penetrate past that. But I would say it's more honest. In London, it's like, I think a lot of the musicians can sometimes there can be some animosity, there can be a lot of like egos in the room. There's a lot of people like messing around, not paying you properly or trying to not pay you. That's a real problem in London. In Toronto, that's not, like, everyone's honest with each other and treats people, so that's something that I prefer. London's a lot more cutthroat and like sharky. It's very
cutthroat, but I guess in a way it makes sense, because like we've just now spoken about how like it's globally one of the great places to kind of like have a chance to make it, so I guess like everyone else is a bit more cutthroat. London has a huge crab in a bucket mentality. It's like, and I didn't want to like see it that way for a very long time until I started to like have these conversations with people and they're all telling me the same thing. It's like we, like, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people who help each other out, like, but it's very much like super cliquey. Super cliquey. And if you're new to the scene, you really have to like know people who for such a long time for them to be able to like bring you on and put you on. And if you're lucky, obviously it will happen. This is what fascinated me about you as well. Like, this is why I wanted to have this conversation, because I wanted to know like, how is it that you were able to play all these cool gigs and like know all of these people that I already know as well in such a short amount of time? So that's very cool. Well,
like I said, I have been coming here since 2019. So I came 2019 and then I first came 2016, but I didn't meet anyone. Then 2019, I started meeting people. I was playing some of the older musicians, in the scene. I started playing with this bass player, Terry Smiles, who's been around like
Terry Smiles plays at Jago a lot.
He kind of introduced me to a lot of the people in the scene and stuff. Played with him a lot, so he was like an early connection for sure. And then 2022 I came back, and now I've been sort of like building up to this. It's not like I just came when I met you and met.
5 years is really like it's still short.
It's still short.
It's quite short to like come from Canada and
but I try to be outside, playing at jams like as much as I can, and just meeting people and playing well, like standing out. Like I sound unique out here, like not really anyone, just the way I play. So I guess standing out also helps
you do stand out.
And then just not being an asshole and stuff like that.
It helps. And it really helps.
I don't have a lot of ego, like, so I think when people, they hear me play and then they see that I'm just a chill guy and I'm not about, kind of being egotistical in people's faces, then, because all the musicians I really look up to, they're incredible, but they're very humble at the same time. So I try to just be like the people that I'm inspired by and look up to,
Absolutely. So what advice would you give if someone was coming from Canada and they was trying to do what you're doing in London or just any other country?
Just be visible, be like, go out as much as you can to be at the jams and meeting people, be good to people, make sure that you're on your shit, make sure you're practicing, make sure you sound good, and when you get hired for a gig, you learn the tunes like properly, you learn them verbatim. You're not just jamming, like you just do the work and then be a good hang, and I think, and be visible, and then those three things together will, doors will open on their own if you're like that, and if you're honest with people and honest with yourself.
That's so true. Very big on learn the songs, because I feel like that's a problem that I've observed in the London jazz scene. We don't practice enough, guys. We don't.
I think there is.
They
like,
don't practice.
People get to a level and then it's all sort of jamming and stuff.
Yeah.
I haven't lately because I've been here and I've been busy, but like when I'm stable, I'm still trying to practice like 2-3 hours every day. Like I'm still, and I'm always on that. Some people, they get to a level and they're like, I'm good enough. Nah, bro,
Yeah,
you're
it's
never
the
good
ego.
enough.
Yeah.
Like listen to the people that were making these records, especially jazz, like before us, they were so incredibly, insanely good. Their craft was so excellent. They were so perfected. It's like, you're never even going to be at that level. So you got to keep practicing and hopefully you'll get,
somewhere
halfway there one day.
Yeah.
But yeah.
True.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to get in even more into the spicier questions, and I like to call this little segment, well, actually, no. Let's wait for this. So we're going to get into a little bit more spicier questions, and if you don't want to answer, you have to take a shot of tequila.
All right.
Yeah?
That's good.
Cool. All right, question number 1. Have you ever caught someone competing with you in the industry? If so, what did you do, or how did you feel?
Maybe I did. I think I'll clock that people might be competing with me, but I just won't give it too much mind, and I'll just keep doing my thing and not really react, not give them a reaction. They're like, we'll just keep being me. And not think about it too much. So I think like subconsciously I'll be aware, but then I won't take it in that much.
Yeah.
So I can't really give you an example of when that's happened. I'm sure it happens, and I'm sure now it happens and I don't even notice it anymore, just the way I handle it. But yeah, it's sort of like, I don't let it bother me really.
That's great. That's a great approach.
Yeah.
Next question. Name someone you've hooked up with in the industry.
What do you mean?
Name someone. Have you ever hooked up with anyone in the industry for a job?
Oh, for a job?
Yeah.
Like connected with them to like get a job?
Yeah, like slept with someone.
Oh, like that. No, never to get a job. I have had some forays with other like musicians or like singers. Not, I don't think here. Yeah, but it wasn't to like get a job. It was just like, it just happened like that. I wasn't trying to like use them or anything like that.
You're such a great guy, Stuart.
Yeah, I don't know. I just never looked at it like that. But I guess that does happen a lot. But,
it happens more than you can imagine.
Yeah.
But I don't know how I feel about that as well. I don't think morally I know people do it. I know like everyone takes the game however way they want to take the game.
Yeah.
But I just feel like it just brings up more problems than it solves. Do you know what I mean?
For sure. You definitely don't want to shit where you eat.
Yes. You gotta have boundaries and self-control.
Yeah, even the times that I did do that, it's like it never led to beef, but it just made everything way more complicated. Because it's like, then she's playing with these people, and then whenever it ends, it's like there's always someone feels the type of way, and then it's like this and that. So it's definitely, I think I learned like relatively early on that it's not the best idea, but sometimes you just can't control it. It just happens,
Yeah.
So
I'm also, just to be clear, I'm also referring to sleeping with someone you're working with, by the way.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I know.
if it's like obviously just anyone else in the industry, I think like at your own risk. Like, But like if you're working, like for example, they're in your band, I feel like, to me, I find it very hard to do that because, like you said, if shit hits the fan, then you're gonna have to deal with that person.
Yeah, I've never done it where it's like we're directly on the same gig, but it's definitely like playing with people that I'm playing closely with and stuff like that. But never, that would just be so much headache if you were like on the same.
Yeah, not on the band. Like,
no, I usually keep it professional.
Yeah, like not shitting where we eat.
Yeah, they'll come back and bite you in the ass every time.
True.
Yeah.
Last question before we move into the next segment of our show.
Yeah.
Ever been on the stage or like playing live whilst going through something really horrible?
Oh yeah, playing, having to play gigs like when you're like going through like a breakup is always really shit, and they're like texting you and you're like on the gig and it's like you get these like
and it's like going off.
It's like, oh my god,
and your head is just on your phone.
It's so tough, and then like you just want to be in your room on your own, like not around anyone, but you have to be like performing and like lit and like and giving them your all. That's a very difficult, but sometimes you just have to do it, and you kind of have to put it to the back of your mind until the gig is done. But yeah, it's a pretty awful feeling. It
just takes a lot of like maturity, right? And a lot of professionalism as well. Like I've been doing gigs where like I was literally going through a breakup and I was just kind of like taking toilet breaks just so I can cry.
It can be, and you're just like not focusing, and it's like whenever every 5 seconds your mind is going back to like the thing that's happening, and it's taking you out of the music. It's tough. It's definitely I've definitely had that quite a few times, and it's not a good feeling.
But I think I've got so much because I've been through that. Kind of like know how to navigate. Once you know how to like compartmentalize it, but it still feels shitty. Now the last segment of the show, may this situation never found me. So Stuart, what situation have you observed in the music industry that you want to vow today that it never finds you?
I think probably committing to something or signing some type of thing that later on you really regret, but then you can't get out of, or you have to owe them something that you didn't, is not advantageous for you to be owing them, but you just didn't read this stuff, or they pulled a fast one on you, and then you're doing all this work but you're not really getting paid. I think that's stuff I've seen happen to other people that I've vowed to never want to happen to me, because it happens a lot in this industry.
Absolutely.
So I think one of those, like, always read the fine print, always like talk to a lawyer, because they try to get you to commit to things without really understanding what you're committing to, so that they can take the piss essentially. So I guess that's what I would never want to happen to me.
Yeah, true. I second that. Lastly, we're going to hear from our watchers and people who are online who have put in any situation that they wish shall never find them. So we've got a few here. I'm going to read out. Well, it's not really just like a situation to never find them, but like their dilemmas and stories and struggles and whatnot, and then we do our best to answer them. So someone has asked, how do I promote my music and not get bored of it? Oh, mate,
you're gonna get bored of it at some point. Like when especially if you're producing your own stuff, or you're in the mix session, you've listened to this shit like hundreds of times, and you listen to it hundreds of times when you're making it. I'd say just keep your head on straight and make sure that what you're putting out is like quality, the best quality that you can do. But then it's easy to, when you're in the process of refining and listening to it, to kind of get jaded, and it doesn't really make you feel anything. Then you're like, okay, this track I guess is not that good. Like, as long as you're doing the work, have a fresh set of ears, listen to it, but just don't listen to it so much that then you just get bored and decide to not, like, still put it out. As long as you practice and you are putting out quality stuff, just throw it out there, just get it out. Don't worry about it too much, because over listening can make it sort of dulls the effect of the song, but that's just a part of the process when you're making the music. And then, just think that when someone listens to it the first time, how it's going to hit them. And like I said, as long as you've done the work and it is of quality, it's going to hit them, in some type of way. So just don't let that kind of kind of cloud your vision, and just release it anyway. And keep releasing it and be consistent with it. But that is definitely a thing that happens. I've noticed you definitely get kind of tired of it,
especially when you're like promoting it on like Instagram, TikTok. You always have to keep doing it.
You got to keep reminding them. You can't just drop a tune and make one post and just disappear. No, it's like people are promoting the same album for years.
For years,
you have to keep, because people, you say something once to them, it goes with the other. They have to hear it like 30, 50 times before they're like, okay. And then when they do listen to it, they'll be glad that you were kind of like bugging them with it. But that's your job to be promoting.
Yeah, that is your job.
So just don't.
They have to get sick of you, you know.
Yeah, not get sick of you. Like you don't want to make them get sick of you.
Not like get sick, but like they have to like it needs to stick in their head.
Yeah, you gotta plug it.
Yeah, you gotta plug your stuff.
You can't just like drop something without talking about it. Like like my song, it came out like a year and a half ago, and I'm still posting about it. You know, not as much as I should be, but I'm still. I used to drop something to post about it once. It would get like nominee lists. I'm like, I guess I suck.
Oh yeah.
But that's not how it is. Like, and even the biggest artists, like when Beyonce is dropping something, you're getting smacked in the face with ads. You are getting tired of that shit, but that's what she has to do. That's what everyone that's just part of the game, you know?
Yeah, it's just part of the game. And lastly, the last question from someone anonymous: is there a producer who actually cares about your song? Like, if they need something like more vocals, takes, or we need to fix this and that, they seem to gaslight you so much when you pay a lot for the session. Or that's also a theme that happens with like recording studios that I've also observed. It's like, I think it's hard to find your producer, you know what I mean, or like someone, or even an engineer. To me it has been like a question of just like getting through many peoples until I find my people, you know, trial and error kind of thing. You just, it's kind of like speed dating. You know what I mean?
Definitely. I think you have to be aware of that, because a lot of producers, they'll just take on a project because it's work and it's money, and they're just trying to like get it done. But if you're an artist and you're really looking for that synergy, then it definitely takes time to find the right producer, and the right producer also has to look at you not just as like a one-off job. They really have to believe in you, and they really have to like fuck with what you're putting out in your sound, and their skill set also has to like match what you're doing, and then you know, you're not gonna blow up overnight. Like you do, both parties have to sort of, not saying that producers should work for free ever, but you need to like work out something that is sustainable, but is still like going to be conducive to making a lot of stuff together over time. Because if you look at all the biggest artists, a lot of it was this like producer artist like match made in heaven combo, and they stuck it out. Like the reason that Drake is still working with Boy Wonder and 40 and stuff is because Boy Wonder and 40 were there when Drake wasn't anything yet. He was there when he was still an underground unsigned artist, didn't really have any plays, didn't have anything going on, no one knew him, but they saw, you know, this, I could really see this guy going somewhere, he's dope, I'm just gonna like put in the time. They were probably sending him, you know, free beats like way early on when he didn't have no money, and now he still goes to those guys all the time because they were there when he wasn't Drake. So I think it's like that with a lot of big artist producer combos. So yeah, it's just, you know, try out a lot of different people and then find someone that works, and make sure they're not just looking at you as like another paycheck, and that they really believe in the vision. That's kind of the perfect way to go about it, I think. Absolutely.
And also just like, if you find something good, just like stick with it, you know? And don't get your ego or your knickers in a twist. Like, put in work and create a healthy relationship with that producer or whatnot, and actually make it work. Because like, you never know who they're gonna be. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
You never know anyone's, you know, career in the next 5 years or whatnot. The people that you're looking down on, how do you know that they're not gonna be the next best thing? Do you know what I mean? So like, I feel in this industry, a lot of people let their ego get the better of them, you know?
Big time.
So it's like, we need to like bring it down and know that we're all just here trying to make great music and do it for the love, you know what I mean?
Definitely. And I think a lot of people forget that the most relationship driven industry in the world is the music industry. So if your ego is out of line and you start slighting all these people that were there, like, it's gonna really, things are gonna come crashing down for you. So that's why you gotta be humble and maintain, good relationships, because at the end of the day, all you have, like all the gigs that I do is just because of the relationships I have with people.
Yeah.
Without those, I don't have anything. So you can't go about burning bridges and being a dickhead and whatnot,
True. Well, with that, thank you so much, Stuart, for being here.
Thanks for having me.
And this is it for today. We hope to see you soon. Please follow, like, share, because it really helps the channel. And I'll get to do more of these. So, bye-bye.
Yeah, if it was salsa, I wouldn't need that.
What is salsa?
It's just it's a shit tequila. We don't want a sponsorship from salsa. Wait, no, I shouldn't say that. Wait, cut that out.
They're gonna...
No, I'm joking.
They're gonna blacklist me. You looking for problems?
I don't even know if it's out in the UK. I think it's just in North America.
This will not be me.
Salsa? Yeah. But we love Patron.
We love Patron. Sponsor us, Patron.
We love Espelon. We love all those.
Thanks again.
Yeah.
Woo. Yeah.